Here he is, Ryan McCarthy, joining us this morning. First time in a while, because like I said, I was getting everything together. Mr. McCarthy, how are you, man?
I don't mean to get political, but how is it? How is it that Joe Biden can step down from announcing his nomination for president and Aaron
Yeah.
Boone still has a job as manager of the New York Yankees?
How is that?
That's not what we're here to talk about.
How is that? How is Aaron Boone still in baseball? Is he now a legacy man? Is he a legacy manager now because of what he did in 2003?
I don't know. I when he was announced as manager, I thought to myself, this is not going to work. This was never going to work. And yeah, I mean, look, 2019 aside, what is he?
Mhm.
He hasn't done anything. Hasn't done
No,
anything.
no.
And
Yes.
lately with the slump that the Yankees have been in, they've won one series since mid-June. Now it's right
Yeah.
before the All-Star break.
Yep.
He's
awful.
He's Lindy Ruff. He's
Yes.
Lindy Ruff. He's juggling the lineup. He's shuffling like Lindy Ruff, like what Lindy Ruff did before he was unceremoniously fired by the New Jersey Devils.
Right.
He was juggling lineups and trying to get the right chemistry in with the batting with his forwards and his defensemen. Aaron Boone's doing the exact same thing with the batting order. It's not working. It's not working.
Not.
Your only run production is coming from two players. Aaron Judge, Juan Soto. It's the only production you're getting. It's time to move on.
It is. It is. Speaking of moving on, what the hell happened Friday?
I'm going to defend the Arena Football League.
All right.
I did it on Saturday's edition of No Credentials Required. You go check it out. Not now, but later.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad.
Okay.
It wasn't that bad. It wasn't as look, I get it. People are panning it. Football fans are panning it, saying, "Oh, you're having Herder. You're having your championship football game in a mall." Look, there was other attractions too. Like they had Legoland, they had a water park. All right, they had the Nickelodeon Kids Experience, whatever it's called. Thankfully, Dan Schneider was not there.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank the Lord.
Had to throw that joke in
because if he was there, good gracious.
Oh, I would have headed towards the hills.
I think a lot of people would have headed towards the hills.
Yeah, but the way they set it up was really interesting. So it took me a couple hours to get there because I live in upstate New York, so I was going to cover the game. I have some issues with the Arena Football League and how they're handling their credentialing, but you can go back and watch that episode or listen to that episode. That's an entirely different story.
We'll explain that here on a later episode. Let's move on.
Let's move on. But yeah, they had it at the rink in the middle of a retail center, and it was really cool to see just random people with families, with young kids walking by and looking and seeing, wait, there's a football game going on? Yes, there's a football game going on in the middle of a shopping center on Friday evening. Yes, there is. And it was pretty cool. I mean, I think I sent you a picture of what it looked like.
Yeah, you did.
It kind of reminded me of Lucas Oil Stadium with the big open with the windows.
With everything open. And I've seen Lucas Oil from a broadcast standpoint with the windows closed and with it open. And it's pretty cool.
Yeah, this was pretty cool. It had the big sun. It looks like it had a big sunroof and it was shining down on the the natural light and
right.
I thought it was pretty neat. And it was a neat experience. And unfortunately, it didn't go the Albany Firebirds way. I full props, all right, to the Billings Outlaws. They had, and you might be familiar with this name, Snowman. Their starting quarterback, Billings Outlaws. Their starting quarterback is Isaac Harker, who played for the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Yep.
For a cup of coffee, and he played with the BC Lions. So I actually took a picture of him standing on the bench. I took a picture. I put it on Facebook. I put it on my Twitter profile. I put it on my Twitter page. Parker, formerly of the CFL, is starting in today's game for the Billings Outlaws in the Arena Bowl. He found it and he liked my post.
Nice, very nice. I've seen 3 live arena games.
Mm-hmm.
One of them involving the Chicago Rush. I had a chance to see them play at the Rosemont Horizon.
Coached by, I presume, Mike Hohensee.
Mike Hohensee.
Yep, former Albany
Firebirds
head coach. Yep,
and that was during the championship year, 2006.
Okay.
The only one I didn't get a chance to get to was the Arena Bowl because it was in Las Vegas. It was Arena Bowl 20.
Yep.
My dad saw me watching arena football, and we got hooked on it the year of its inception, 1987. Especially when the Chicago Bruisers made the championship game, which was played at Rosemont Horizon.
Yeah.
And my dad came to me and said, "What is this?" I said, "This is arena football. This is indoor football." My dad said, "Man, this can't be that interesting." Oh yeah.
Oh yes, it was.
We were both proven very, very wrong. And every year, even the years I came back from college, my dad would say to me, "Okay, who are you picking the Arena Football League this year?" And we would do picks.
Nice.
Just like we did for the NFL, just like we did for college football in the NFL. And God love you, Dad. Dad was like, my pops was like Jimmy the Greek.
Can I tell you about my first experience at an arena football game?
Go for it, man. Go for it.
The year was 1990. And my dad and our neighbor from across the street, they decided to treat their boys to an arena football game. So my dad and our across the street neighbor, he took us 3 boys, us 3 McCarthy boys, and my older brothers and I, and my neighbor across the street, he took his son.
Yeah,
all went to see the arena of the Albany Firebirds, who at the time they had a good winning streak going. I think they were 3-2 at that point. And they played the Detroit Drive, the Dynasty.
The Detroit Drive, my goodness.
Detroit Drive, the Dynasty, had coached by Tim Markham, God rest his soul.
Yep.
And that was where I learned the expression.
And we couldn't beat Tim Markham to save our life, man.
Nobody could in those days. We could not
beat Tim to save our life. We could not beat him.
I don't think he ever had a losing record as a head coach in that league.
He won at least I want to say he won at least 10 games each year. Because what people don't realize, when the Arena Football League started, it was 16 games, I think. I think it was 16 games.
He had 211 career wins.
What does that tell you about?
Yeah, he had the most wins. He had the most wins.
Look,
in arena football history.
For many, many years.
211 and 99.
Yep. He never lost 100 games. Didn't even lose 100 games. Listen, for the years that we watched the Detroit Drive, us Chicago Bruisers fans, we akened it to the Pistons and the Bulls. Yeah. Because the Bruisers would get so close, and then Tim Markham's ass would show up. And when they would air the games live on ABC, because it was with ESPN, who was an independent network at the time, when they would air the games live on ABC, my dad looked and saw the Detroit Drive and went, "Oh, damn it.
Dang." And let me tell you, the Drive absolutely destroyed the Firebirds that game. And that's where I learned the expression, nuts and bolts. Boy, did we get screwed.
Yes. Yes.
And to an impressionable 12-year-old, it's like hearing music for the first time. Isn't
it? Oh. That That was the same. Listen, the Bruisers and the Detroit Drive. The Bruisers were a dynasty in waiting until we played the Detroit Drive, and they kicked our ass.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We couldn't beat them at Joe Louis Arena. We sure as hell couldn't beat them in the Rosemont Horizon.
Nope.
And the man, and you said 1990. That year just bring back such memories for me because I did a whole bunch of stuff sports wise in 1990.
And the Firebirds were this close making the playoffs in their first year. That iteration of Firebirds only missed the playoffs twice in the 11 seasons that they were in existence. And 1990 was one of the only years that they missed out. The other year was 1990.
Who was their quarterback? I can't remember his name.
Kyle Mackey.
Kyle Mackey. But there was another quarterback. That was another quarterback the Firebirds had that Tom
Porras.
Setting all kinds of records.
Oh, that was Mike Pulaski.
That's him. That's him.
Yep. And then
every game you see, look at the box score. You see 400 yards, 412, 410,
and 300 and like 250 of those receiving yards were a touchdown. Eddie Brown. Yeah, Eddie Brown. It was either Eddie Brown, Greg Hopkins. And I'm trying to remember their other receiver, the third receiver, Freddie Gales. I want to say, maybe? Or was he maybe he was with the New York City Hawks at that point after when they won the Arena Bowl.
Cool. Wasn't Arena Football League cool once upon a time?
It still is.
Well, yeah.
I guess with growing pains. It needs stabilization. All right, it needs stabilization, and I think they'll get it in this offseason.
And that's all that's missing.
That's all that's missing. And
that's all that's missing. You bring the teams back that want to come back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you bring them back.
Yep.
A little stable. Okay. What kind of stabilization do they need? Since we opened the can of worms, we may as well dump that sumbitch out. What kind of stabilization do they need?
They need
you're the arena football. You're the arena football savant for the program. And I just made that official, folks, and I mean it.
Thank you.
Listen, you are for Arena Football League. Of course, you're one of my Jets insiders for the program and for the network, and I appreciate that. And also, you and this name should sound familiar. Clark Monroe are my CFL guys.
Beauty Clark.
Yeah, you and Clark Monroe are my CFL guys.
Speaking
of CFL, damn you, Calgary Stampeders.
Can we put up the last comment from RC?
Like this?
Yes. And he writes out, he says, a mall, I can't quite fathom it. Malls are on their way out around the country, and maybe the Arena Football League is too. LOL, crying, laughing emoji, JK. American Dream is more than just a mall, all right? It's right across the street from MetLife Stadium. It shares the same parking lot as MetLife Stadium. It's kind of like Mall of America is, with the amusement park and all the attractions on the inside. I think it's what Crossgates Mall in my area is trying to be.
I used to work at Mall of America, but
so it's kind of like that. So it's got the skating rink, it's got the water park, it's got the big Ferris wheel on the outside, it's got all these attractions. I think the Arena Football League played this well. They needed some sort of an attraction to say, okay, we've got the contract from CBS Sports Network. We're going to broadcast our playoff games and the Arena Bowl.
Yes.
Cool. Very cool. All right. All that stuff with NFL Network fell through, unfortunately, because of the commissioner who was there before, who is now
robbing people blind.
See, I don't know about that, but he just wasn't there. So, but here's the thing too.
And he was so incompetent. It wasn't. Yeah. He's about as incompetent as Jarrell.
See, the league. See, you can't survive when it's the league can't survive when it owns 8 of the 16 teams that start out. Also, I think they started out too big.
Yes,
started out with 16 teams, and 8 of them didn't have owners. 8 of them were owned by the league. You try to follow that same model that the Arena Football League had when it ended in 2019 because they didn't pay their insurance bills. But I think they play it smart with having it in an attraction where people are passing by. They can look at the product for free. They can go up to the second and third levels and watch from above. And it gets the kids into it. I was walking back to the parking lot to go to my car and head back to New York. And I was just talking to little kids. I was talking to the parents. I was talking to little kids, talking to their parents, saying, "Hey, do you guys see the football game? You guys see the football game?" They're like, "Yeah." "Do you like it?" "Yeah." That's what counts.
Yeah.
And I said it, on No Credentials Required on Saturday, and I've been echoing this throughout the entire year. How do you build an audience for your league? You build it by making it accessible to everyone.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the Arena Football League did. It was a wise decision to have it played at American Dream. And I know we had those reports saying that the league might postpone the game to find a new location because it couldn't secure the location for American Dream. All those reports were unequivocally false. I think my theory is it came from the last regime, the regime that came out. Like it was voted out and all resigned because they lied to all the teams that were supposed to be there and who folded or said we're going to go dark until next season. So I think that's where that news came from. That's just my theory. I don't know for sure, but the game still happened. The game went on TV.
It did.
Eyes were on it, both on TV and walking through the mall. I mean, at first I was like, really, in a mall? But then I went to the location. I was like, okay, I get it. I know what they did now.
Yeah. Because when I lived in Minnesota, they were taping a game show there called Mall Masters. And I said, what the hell is this? So, of course, I told my boss I was going on a break, and I snuck away and snuck upstairs to watch it. And I watched every taping they did. I watched every single taping they did, and I'm like, man, this is cool.
Snowman, I don't know if you've heard this news yet, but I have some breaking news.
Uh-oh. Breaking news coming up.
And you'll probably touch on this later in the program, but the United States Olympic Committee has chosen a flag bearer for the opening ceremony.
Oh, God. Stop. You don't have to say anything more. This has been yet another beating a dead horse presentation. Thank you, Cole Johnson, for that.
Cole Johnson, my hero.
Mine too.
Yeah.
And even though it's Monday, I gotta do it. And I mean this very sarcastically.
Can I leave first?
Because yes, LeBron, it is you. It's always been you. It always will be you, forever and ever. Amen. Man, I heard that this morning while driving to pick up my daughter, and I went, oh, no. And then he backed it up with, this has been yet another beating a dead horse presentation.
Yep.
And nearly fell out of my car laughing. I was like, how did I know this was coming? Your favorite Arena League rivalry?
Albany, Orlando.
Y'all hate each other.
I will say this. The only reason why is because they had for so many years, and still in the circles I run with Arena Football, the OGs with Arena Football.
Yes.
The argument is and forever will be, who was the greatest Arena Football player, Eddie Brown or Barry Wagner? And there are arguments for either or.
How about we split it and say both? Because Barry Wagner was the Iron Man among Iron Men.
Oh, for sure. Played wide receiver and Mac linebacker.
Yep, and
Jack
linebacker.
Jack linebacker. Mac is the one who rushes in.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. He played both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
And was damn good at it, because every time you see number 82, or every time if you didn't see number 82, you're going, okay, wait a minute, what is wrong with this team? Barry's not out there. But with him being the Iron Man that he was, God bless him, that's the number you always look for. And absolutely. For Albany, it was downtown Eddie Brown, or touchdown Eddie Brown.
Downtown Eddie Brown was CFL for the Edmonton Eskimos.
Yes.
Elkimos.
I still call them. I heard you.
I know you still call them the Eskimos because you're transgressive. That's how you roll. I get it.
Look, I'm old and I'm old school. Okay. I still call them the Eskimos. I know your joke with the Elkimos, which had me in a fit of giggles.
I got that from RP. I got that from Rod Pearson. That's how I got it from. I can't take.
Oh, you got it from Rod? Nice.
Yeah, Rod said it first. He's like the Edmonton Elkimos. Like, there you go.
Oh my gosh.
There you go.
Rod is a character, and I love him.
I gotta get him back. We're coming up on episode 200 of No Credentials Required for the podcast, so that'll be in mid-August, because we're gonna take a short break at the beginning of August for first and second weeks. We're gonna get fueled up for the NFL season. So
it's gonna be a busy one.
It is going to be a busy one, that's for sure.
It is going to be a busy one.
So back to your question about stabilizing the league. All right. So they need a full-time commissioner. I hope that Jeff Fisher accepts the full-time job. He's interim commissioner through the end of the season, but I hope he accepts.
They need to remove that interim tag.
Yes, Jeff. They need to remove that interim tag if he wants it. Because I know he was involved with the Nashville Cats as team president. I'm hoping he accepts, because he made sure things got done in that league.
Yes.
Second thing they need to do is they need to distinguish the rules. Is it going to be Iron Man, or is it going to be single platoon, where you have set positions where you have set positions on both sides of the ball? It's not guys playing both ways. It has to be one or the other, because there was so much confusion this season on different games. All right, which rule, and also they distinguish between an indoor and arena football rules. Yeah, because in week 2, when Albany played Nashville, there was confusion as to what rules they were using for that game, and they went with arena rules for that game. So those people were playing Iron Man, and there was a lot of confusion and anger around that. So I think they need to stabilize. They need to establish which form of the game they're playing, whether it be Iron Man or single platoon, and have a full-time commissioner.
Your thoughts? And which way do you think it should be played? Should it go Iron Man?
Either way works. Either way works, because I've seen both iterations up close and personal. I personally like the single platoon because it gives you more depth.
Right.
But I'm not going to argue against Iron Man either.
Okay. It was 88 where they played a total of 12 games. 87 they only played 6 games. Live research.
They had four teams.
Yeah. Live research, folks.
Yeah.
And our live research is presented by SeatGeek. I'm working on a few visuals to help the program out, and people are wondering, how the hell are you doing this? Cole introduced me to a new weapon, which is how I was able to make the new opening with the new logo and everything, because I did it
with the new black cup.
Yep. I just went with it that way. I just went with it, and I revised a few other things. It's not a complete brand change, but a brand update. Since Cole designed the logo, I made a couple of tweaks with it, sent it back to him. He gave me the green light and said, go for it. Gave it to my wife. She gave me the green light and said, go for it. And that's how the branding's going to go. And yes, I will have some shirts with your name on it and his name on it and mine and Jody's. And by NFL kickoff season, I should have the shirts.
Cool.
No, by NFL kickoff season, I will have the shirts.
All right. So I got to run. Back to work. A couple announcements for this week.
Yep.
We're Tuesday show is being moved to Wednesday. We have a
Mhm.
special guest for our last installment of No Ticket Required for the summer, bringing in
Right.
former Arena Football League wide receiver Colin Taylor. He was in American Underdog, so he's going to talk a little bit
Nice.
about the film. And
Nice.
Saturday brunch, we're going to bring back local talk show, sports radio legends Jeff Levac and Tom Goslowski for a live show on Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern. So you don't
Beautiful.
want to miss it. And then next Tuesday
Beautiful.
show, the 30th, our last show until we take a break. We come back on the 19th.
All right. And I need to get back on No Credentials Required again. It's fun.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
fun. It's fun hanging with you guys, and it's fun for you to hang out with us here. I appreciate you. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you.